Welcome back to My Take, your favourite Scottish native, Francis Maxwell, here to review what, in my view, was the most underrated movie last year, Sicario. So you may be wondering, why are you reviewing this? It was out last year. Well, to remove all journalistic and grammatical integrity that I may or may not have already had, I'm going to say that I'm fucking buzzing to announce that Sicario 2 has been greenlit. So therefore, I wanted to come on My Take and just express my love for this movie and how I view it. Was not talked about enough. Now, it was talked about. It was rated very highly, I think, in the 90% category in Rotten Tomatoes, and rightly so, man. What a movie it was. I watched it again on the plane recently on the back from New York, so I'm fully refreshed and ready to talk about it. But one thing I didn't like about it is that it got me so into talking about the narcotics industry that I'm gripping and waiting for Narcos to come back for season 2, and I will talk to the crew at What the Flick and try and get that reviewed for you guys. Anyway, to talk about it, Benicio del Toro stole the show from me. In an interview he had about the movie, he stated that there's rumoured that a lot of his lines he wanted to be cut just so that he could act without speaking. So he just acted in his role, and it said that less was more because his facial expressions showed the pain that he's obviously went through in his past, his gripping personality that he had in it, and how he was obviously not doing things ethically to get answers in the situation. So the star on paper was Emily Blunt. I think Benicio del Toro stole the show from me. So Emily Blunt, the FBI agent who was brought along in the dark by Josh Brolin as they went to uncover the dark side of Mexico in El Paso, I believe, is the first mission. And it starts off, the first scene, by the way, before we get to see Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro, already had me gripped. They go to a raid. They're looking for, I believe, some of the cartel, and they just rip the walls away from the interior of the house, and it's lined by bodies upon bodies. Just gripping start to the movie. I could tell already from that scene that I was in for an amazing thriller that I rated as one of the best movies of the year. So we go through that situation. Emily Blunt, I think that I was a little wary of her cast, but the things that I was wary about played into her character. They needed that vulnerable side to Emily Blunt to make Benicio del Toro's character, Alejandro, more believable. And he obviously seen some qualities in Emily Blunt's character as he's seen in his late wife and family who were murdered by the Mexican cartel. Sorry for spoilers, by the way. I mean, it's been like a year. You should have seen it by now. So it made her character believable. She wanted everything done by the book. Josh Brolin did not want things done by the book. He understood that in order to beat the evil that was the Mexican cartel in this movie, he had to stoop to their level and hire someone who knew the ins and outs of that corporation and was able to take things into his own hands. And in his hands, he did. Benicio del Toro, in one of the best final sequences of a movie for me, as they find the tunnel and then just demolish everything in their path. He even shoots Emily Blunt accurately on her bulletproof vest just to give her a warning, don't ever point a gun at me. But he takes such extreme measures. He just stands with his crotch in the face of a Mexican cartel boss to showcase his intimidation and that he better deliver answers as they capture one of the Mexican cartel, bring them back to the US to find out where that tunnel was. And then Jon Bernthal makes like a cameo appearance playing, as always, the best douchebag that you've ever seen. I mean, I love Jon Bernthal, by the way. Watch our Daredevil reviews. I just go on about my man crush on him. He's amazing as the Punisher. He was fantastic as Shane in The Walking Dead. That show never really, I think, hit the heights after he left. Amazing in Fury, and he continues on that kind of smooth talking, but yet just unbelievable douchiness in his character, as he is the one who is basically working for the cartel within his ranks as a police officer. He tries to get it on with Emily Blunt, and Benicio del Toro saves the day and gives him the most extreme wet willy I've ever seen. He sticks his finger right in his ear, almost his finger comes out the other side to get the answers that he needs. The relationship between the three main characters, Brolin, Del Toro, and Emily Blunt, to make the movie for me. Emily Blunt consistently pushing Josh Brolin to tell her what she needs to hear. He does. He tells her just enough answers to keep her involved. But then in the end, we find out that the only reason, because I was wondering why was she brought along. I mean, she was good tactically. She led a strategic movement at the start of the movie. But I was wondering why she was brought along, and then it turns out that they needed her in order to not step on any toes for jurisdiction policies and for logistics to go in and shoot up the Mexican cartel within their own ranks. So the final sequence of the movie, again, blew me away. As they go through the tunnel, Del Toro goes on his one-man Rambo mission, finds the boss that he needs to find in order to get into the Kingpin's lair. And he goes in, and it's a chilling sequence. That's the only way I can say it, is he sits at the table of the man who killed his family, and he says it's just business. And I'm thinking he's going to kill him, let the family go. Fuck no. Blast all of them away from the table, leaves the head cartel sitting there and says, finish your meal. Oh my goodness. Blown away. Then he blasts him, and then he walks off and goes away with the job done in his situation, as the inside spy works in Josh Brolin's favour, and he's able to come away once Del Toro was able to get Emily Blunt to sign, saying that everything was done by the book. There was no iffy business in there. And he points a gun at her, of course, to showcase that he needs those answers to be given. But the end of the movie obviously left on a cliffhanger, and that's why I wanted to do this review, because here it is. There is the sign that I was waiting for. The Independent has ran it. Sicario 2 is happening. Emily Blunt and Benicio del Toro returning, and apparently it is to follow Benicio del Toro's character more in depth. So I'm interested to see how they take that further. They haven't yet got the director, Denis, is it Villeneuve? I know he previously directed Prisoners and Enemy, but if they get him on board, then I'm anxious to get the full team together to make sure that it's done well. I know some of the producers are already brought back into it, but either way, I'm counting the days until it comes back out. I'm counting the days until Narcos Season 2, one of my favourite genres, this thriller, this interaction between the lawlessness that's involved in Mexico and how these extreme measures are having to be taken to go in to try and get and remove the Mexican cartel. So for me, it was very well written, very well acted, one of the best movies of the year for me. I was actually anxious to see it be potentially put forward for an Academy Award. Benicio del Toro is already Academy Award winner for Traffic, another great movie. I thought it deserved a lot more credit than it got, so I'm going to give it all the credit right here with a 9 out of 10 on my take. So let us know what you think in the comments. Do my best to interact with you guys, and I will speak to you soon.